Brother Mr. Michael L. Dublin Sr. on another one of these fantastic trips in North Carolina. I looked at my news feed and it was talking about sites to be seen locally in North Carolina. And they had this featured here. This is Shangri-La. This actually was the entire village that you see, and I'm gonna kind of scan it quickly because I don't know how much battery and how much storage I have and how much room for video. But this highway here was the old 86 North, and outward is 86 North now. So when the guy who was building it built it, the people could come by and see him actually build this village. And everything that you see here was built by hand. And he worked on this as a farmer for 10 years before he died in 1977, maybe 78, but he worked on it for almost 10 years. And the details that you see, he had no engineering. I just talked to his daughter. He had no engineering degrees, no experiences. He was just a farmer and decided that this was something that he wanted to do. Now you will see toys here that when other visitors stop by, the children will drop off toys. So that's where those toys came from. But when you think in terms of a person having an idea and working the last 10 years of their life to bring this into being, it is something that should encourage everybody. You know, whatever skills you have, what you've learned, whatever ideas and hopes and dreams, you just can't take it to your grave until you try it. And this 10 years of work, it just speaks for itself. And his family said, you know, just drop by, come on by. And if they got the time, they'll talk to you. But the rest of the time, it's just, you get to walk around and see what somebody has done. And this is really about an hour from Raleigh up Highway 86, north of Hillsborough, North Carolina. Which is also north of Durham, North Carolina. So I'm almost speechless because who does this? But it's always that person who had no limitations about what they could do, and they don't know what the product is going to be. They're not counting all the costs, and they've lived their lives, and in living their lives, they have ideas, and they start out on a pathway to live out their lives. And I'm just encouraged. I wouldn't even know what I could add to the story except to share it with those who allow me to share it through video. I'm just speechless. Because when I read about it, I could see that there was some incredible work being done. But once you get out of the car and then you see what was done by hand, then it's just, he just added one component to another component to another component. And what you see is Shangri-La. And as I shared with I'm hoping that I will have some type of impact on somebody by sharing this, that whether you actually come out and see this for yourself or not, just be encouraged that life is worth living. And you will always have somebody telling you to be safe, telling you that, be wary of different people. And that's good advice to a certain point. But at some you have to live because you've chosen to live. At some point, you have to decide that what God has done, what He's given you, what your hopes and dreams are a bigger reality than the limitations of your families and friends. And there are some of us will always be imprisoned by the thoughts and the limitations of others. This is a part of the yard from the family, and it's just, as I said again, the extension of a lot of imagination. It's the extension of a person utilizing their talents and abilities. And here we are along Highway 86 north. I guess when I go back it'll be south. And just I would have driven by it had I not had a news feed sharing this particular place. It's I just don't know what to say. At this point, I'm kind of speechless. But my whole admonition to you, as I've always said to the church, South Central Church of Christ, as I say to my family, and I'm saying to my friends and acquaintances and anybody who gets an opportunity to make the best of your life, make the best of it. Make the best of it. Even here in the sidewalk are arrowheads. You may or may not be able to see the arrowheads, but they are actually arrowheads. So whatever you go about doing your life and whatever your accomplishments are, whatever you think, don't cut it short. Don't give up on yourself. Don't let other people take your life away from you. I mean, they don't mean any harm. That's not what I'm saying. Have your friends and let them give you their cautions. But at the end of the day, you have to live. At the end of the day, you've been given an opportunity to live and to move and to express yourself and to learn from life. And when you find yourself being lonely, misunderstood, left out, and you find yourself just wondering deep on the inside of you what life is all about, this helps. This matters. I read about it, got in my car, drove up here, and here I am. And in a few seconds, I go to my car and drive back to Raleigh, having experienced what I've seen today, because the God that I serve is greater in me than the enemies and the negative thoughts and experiences of the past. Michael L. Dublin Sr.